Good evening and welcome to the 15th annual Lensic Future Voices Film Festival and Award Ceremony. My name is Joel Alberts. I'm the Executive Director here at the Lensic. I would like to thank you for being a part of our online event. I'd like to thank the student filmmakers, the photographers, teachers, the Lensic board and staff, our incredible judges, parents, as well as the curious audience who have found themselves to this evening's event. The Lensic Future Voices program encourages students across New Mexico to tell their stories through original photographs and films. Guided by a team of industry experts, the Lensic provides students with all of the support they need to create high-quality films and photographs. Each spring, we produce and host the Future Voices Film Festival and Award Ceremony on the Lensic big screen, showing the best student work selected from hundreds of film and photo submissions. The Lensic is normally filled with 600 students. Many of these students have gone on to college to pursue a career in that field. Over the last couple of years, this is a program we've been able to continue through the pandemic, which has been amazing, particularly as we went through that full school year while the students were at home and giving them this opportunity to have a creative outlet during that time. And I really appreciated how the students pivoted and created all of these new works. And it's exciting to have this program together online this year, and hopefully we'll have a nice mix of some in-person and online as we've been able to enjoy so much more participation through this format over the last couple of years. It's my pleasure to introduce some of the people who are supporting tonight's program. Most notably, I'd like to introduce our program manager, Marcella Ernest, who has been a stalwart for this program forever and ever, and has led this through various ups and downs over the years, but we are super excited that we are with you again this evening. I would also like to extend a thanks to Reed Callanan, who is the director of Santa Fe Photo Workshops, for his long collaboration on the program. This is the first year that Reed has not been able to join us. He is deeply disappointed, but I know he is watching from afar, and I wanted to say that we're missing you, Reed, and hope we'll see you back again next year. Also, thanks to Jonathan Lowe with Video Magic, who created the film winners loop for our program today. And Lensic Future Voices is funded by contributions from our community. The Lensic is a community-funded support performing arts center. So much of the work that we do goes into our education program that engages over 16 to 18,000 kids a year. And this is a big part of the things that we do. If you would like to help us to support programs like this, your tax-deductible donation encourages a new generation of creativity and self-expression and plays an important role in the future of the performing arts. To donate, please visit us at lensic.org, and you can learn more about all of the different programs that we do, as well as a number of great programs that we have on our stage. In the past years, we've always had a theme, but this year we decided not to, and let students get creative with their photos and films. We received 207 photos and 70 film submissions from 17 schools, and 591 students participated. This evening, you will see our winning photographs and films. You will meet student photographers and filmmakers. And now I would like to introduce our photography submissions. There were 207 in 10 categories. Each of the winners is a $50 first prize money award, and then honorable mention, etc. So I think at this point, we are going to move on and show our photo participation loop. So if you would like to have everyone get your screens off here, and we are going to move on to take a look at our photos for this year. And just a moment, they'll be here.
Okay, so welcome back, everybody. For the photography students who have were just featured in the award show, so that won an award this year, can you all turn on your cameras now? And that should put us hopefully on one page together, and then we can have a conversation about your work. A couple seconds here. Okay, so welcome. I hope everyone here on Zoom and also watching on YouTube and other platforms enjoyed the photo show. And I hope that you all also enjoyed seeing the other photographs. This would probably been your first time seeing the other pictures that won in the category, either with you or in different categories and their schools and things like that. So that was a good experience for me. I hope it was a good experience for everyone here. What did you guys think about them? Thumbs up? You're like, no, some thumbs down. Yeah, good. Yeah, it was so pretty. Sometimes the winning photographs just kind of blow me away, and the creativity and the framing and just the kind of process in your practice as young artists. So congratulations to all of you. I'm going to start by asking a really general question, just kind of about your pictures and what at your, I don't want to say your age, but kind of at your process in developing yourselves as an artist, or maybe you don't think of yourself as an artist yet, you're just taking a photography class, what the experience was like for you taking photography, especially right now when we're kind of like, we're in school, we're out of school, we're in school, we're out of school, and then winning an award for it, you know? So like what kind of feelings does that make you feel as young, I would say young photographers or young artists, you know, if you don't think of yourselves as artists, I hope that you do now, or will start to think of yourself as one as you move forward. So without just kind of calling out certain categories, does anybody want to start by saying what they felt about their photography experience, or should I kind of call on somebody who looks like someone who might want to talk about it? Any volunteers? Okay, I'm gonna have to go for it. It's fine. I teach all day, all the time too. So Lucia, what do you think? Welcome, Lucia, to the platform.
Thank you. Well, just for me, I experienced, because I had never taken darkroom photography before. Well, I had, but it was during COVID, and so it really was not darkroom. And I don't know, I felt like there was really an interesting factor of coming back and just like, I don't know, experiencing the darkroom when, yeah.
Can you tell me what school do you go to, Lucia?
I go to Santa Fe Prep.
Santa
And
Fe Prep. What category did your photograph place in this year?
I placed in the black and white category. Thank you guys so much. It was, yeah.
Good feeling, good experience.
It was an amazing
Oh,
experience.
I'm so glad. Who else goes to do Santa Fe Prep in here? Anybody else from Santa Fe Prep? Oh, there's a whole bunch of you. Does anybody else from Santa Fe Prep want to explain to us and to maybe people watching what Lucia means by the darkroom photography? What does that mean when they say darkroom photography? This is a digital world we live in. What about you?
Isabel.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how about you, Isabel?
We just use like film cameras, and we didn't get to see any of the photographs before we developed them. So it was just a different style of photography, because I've taken photos with my phone or, you know, with a camera, but like you always got to see it like instantly. And it was just interesting to try to like figure out what would look good without being able to see any of your progress throughout the 25 shots or whatever. So yeah, it's an older style of photography, I guess is what I would say.
Thank you for explaining that. You know, not a lot of people do darkroom photography anymore, especially in high schools and middle schools and things. So you're lucky to have that kind of learning process. I'm a filmmaker myself, and I learned to make film on old cameras and things. And it helped me in editing and learning how it works digitally. So So congratulations on that. And what categories did your photography place in, Isabel?
I also won black and white.
Oh, cool. Okay, kind of moving along, I'm going to jump to Mosiah. Mosiah's like, what? Me? Why? Only because your name stands out to me as somebody who was in the film category and also photography. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I was in film last year. I still am this year too. I just decided to take a different path. I wanted to explore photography and to kind of open different learning paths other than filming with just a camera. I also wanted to learn how to take photos. So yeah.
I think photography and filmmaking complement each other a lot. Do you feel like when you started doing photography, like it's helping you set up your camera differently for when you're making video and film?
Yeah, I can kind of open another lane to different types of angles of framing and shots that you want to do. And it's mostly about lighting too. So it's good to see how the light affects the object or something you're taking a photo of.
And what did your photography place in this year's contest?
First place, architecture.
First place, architecture. Congratulations. And your school is?
The Public Academy for Performing Arts.
Cool. So we've got Albuquerque, mostly this year was a lot of Albuquerque and Santa Fe. So sometimes we go a little bit more south and sometimes a little more north, but I'm glad to see the representation and either way. Anyone else? Is anyone joining us from the Mandala School? Mandala?
I am.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too.
Nico, tell us about your school. Where are you guys at?
We're on Agua Fria, and it's an international baccalaureate school, and it's I think it's a great school because it's a very small school, so you get a lot of attention from the teachers. And yeah, we have a great arts program. To graduate, you have to have one art that you focused on for all of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, it's a cool school, and I like it. Yeah.
I'm glad. It's good to like the school you go to. Trust me. What was your winning photograph in?
I won street. Yeah.
One street. What'd you win? First, second, third, or honorable mention?
First
Place? Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, and it was I didn't expect to win. Like, this was the first time I heard of this, and pretty much the first time I took a photo, and so yeah.
Cool. Do you think it'll be the last time that you try taking photos?
No.
Oh, good. Something about winning stuff, makes you want to go back for
Yeah.
more. That's how casinos work anyway. Anyone else from Mandela that wants to share something? I don't think we have time to go through every school, but is there anyone else? Mandela?
Yeah, I'm
people
from
here?
Mandela too.
Oh, you are? And what did your photograph place in? Claire?
Yeah, I got landscape.
Landscape? Do you usually find that you taking pictures of landscapes?
Yeah, and I like doing a lot of other kinds of art with landscape. I've never really been into photography. This is I was also surprised about this. Yeah, I kind of just took the photo one day, and I was like, we all submitted it in art class, so that was just the photo I chose.
And here you won.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to take photography again or take more pictures?
Yeah, definitely. This was definitely something that made me more confident.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, we all need things to make us more confident, especially in our art and our art practice and things, honestly. So anytime you all can find ways to just make yourself feel more confident about your artwork and your practice or taking photographs, or you should try to seek those out, or those people out, or those teachers out, so that, artists are naturally, always grappling with whether we're making things good enough or not and things like that, so I encourage you to just always make and create and experiment and practice. And so Those are my words of wisdom from the future. With the last couple minutes we have for the photography, let me make sure we've got Papa. Oh, Media Arts Collaborative Charter. Are any of you all here? You guys, Media Arts Collaborative Charter was like killed it in the monthly contest this year. Is anybody here from Max? No. They won a lot of the monthly contests. So don't forget those next year. You can submit your photos to the monthly contest. In the next couple minutes, just before we kind of transition into the films, is there any photographers that want to say something? I know it's hard to like unmute yourself and just say something, right? You're like, I want to say something, but I don't know what. In the last couple minutes, does anyone have any final thoughts? Xander, thank you for raising your hand and for wanting to talk. Go for it.
So when I wanted to when I thought about taking my photo, I'm like, oh, what a nice sunset. And my teacher said that like taking a photo is like the best time to take a photo is like golden hour or something. And so I'm like, oh, a nice rock. So I put my bearded dragon on a rock, and then I thought it looked good, and I took a picture. And yeah.
Yours is the bearded dragon on the rock? Xander, I swear, look at what I took. I took a picture of the show. Is that yours?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was so cool. I took a picture of it while it was playing. That was you got beautiful lighting in that shot, my friend. And the beautiful lizard. Is this your lizard pet?
Yeah.
Does it have a name?
Taco.
Okay. Well, shout out to Taco. What school do you go to, Xander?
Papa Public Academy for Performing Arts.
Right on, Papa. And we just have a few minutes. I'm gonna push it though and go to these three people here. You knew it was gonna happen. You're sitting there all smiley and stuff. You knew it was gonna happen. Marie, Danielle, and Janine. Look at you, even put your three names up there. Who are you and where do you come from? I'm just kidding. But really, what school are you all three?
We all got Papa.
Oh, you're all at Papa too?
Yeah. We all placed.
Oh, are you in film too?
We're in kind of.
No, we're not. We're in yearbook and
but-
photography.
Yeah. Okay. I just was wondering because I'm trying to recognize people that I saw in films also, so I thought maybe that was one of you. Anyway, you're in photography. So what did your photographs place in, and what's photography like for you in your classroom? And in like a minute, pretend like we're on an elevator and we only have two floors.
Okay. Mine placed in manipulated and animal.
Uh-huh.
And photography in our classroom is very fun and experimental. We work like with a lot of like chalk and costumes and like different lighting and stuff, which is cool.
Oh, for mine, I won most original with my photo. And in our class, it's just like that. We do a lot of experimenting, and it's really cool because we get to learn like with different types of cameras and different types of like photo styles.
Yeah, I placed in humor and portrait. And yeah, honestly, I think the most fun part is like playing with like light boards and like finding the right angle and how light reflects on things.
I agree. As a lens-based artist, light is fun. What's so funny? What is the joke that you didn't tell the rest of us?
So we just, when we're around each other, we cannot laugh.
Well, I hope you don't sit next to each other in class. So this is kind of the end of the photo segment. Unless anyone, I'm going to give like a 30 seconds just in case anybody has any last words. Shyla, I know you love talking and you can't wait. So if you want to talk, or Emma or Jaslyn, Caroline, I'm looking at you. You don't have to. I just want to acknowledge you and make sure that you feel like you have space to talk. Oh, Shyla, look at you. Way to go. Bring it on in.
I just wanted to say my like inspiration for the photo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just my broken lava lamp. That's it. That's all I took a photo of. I looked over at my room one day and I saw my lava lamp and it like started to break, but it looked really cool, and the light like reflecting from my LED lights like reflected on like lava inside of the lamp, and I just took a photo of it and submitted it, and I didn't expect to win. So
Yeah, you did. And secretly, who hasn't always secretly low-key wished they could break a lava lamp and just see what would happen? So yeah, I know it's so tempting. What did your photograph win in, Shyla?
I placed second in color.
Second in color. All right. Well, thank you for speaking. You do a great, excellent job, probably better than you think you do. And then we're going to end this section. Maybe I'll see some of you in the film. If you didn't have a chance to talk, if we have moments at the end, you're welcome to join our film conversation. You know, if you're like, oh, I should have said something, you are more than welcome to join it. And I think we're going to go back to Joel now. Again, one more time, you're all invited to the film in case you feel like you need to say something. Conversation is open to everyone. I appreciate you all and your work and creativity, and congratulations. And I hope that you can continue making photographs and making pictures and thinking through light and framing and things, because you all did a really beautiful job. Okay. So Joel.
And fantastic. And congratulations again to all of our winners and placement photography submitters this year. You did an amazing job, and it was really fun to see your creativity and all of the great work that you did. We are going to move on now to the film section of the program. In film awards, there are 3 different awards. For first place, our winners receive $300. For second place, they receive $200. And for third place, yes, they receive $100. There are 4 different categories in the film area. There is narrative, experimental, animation, and comedy. The ages of our filmmakers this year range from 13 to 18 years old. And for the audience who is watching at home, watch for special effects, for cinematography, for humor, I should say, as well as for the budding actors, which is always great how these film students gather friends and family to participate in their films. Always a great surprise there. So here we are going to show the reel of our winning films for this year. Hope you enjoy them. Yo.
Well, we've been drafted.
For the past 2 years during the pandemic, masks have kept us healthy, but now it's our responsibility to keep our Earth healthy. According to the New York Times, volunteers with the Ocean Conservancy International Coastal Cleanup have cleaned 109,507 pieces of PPE from the world's beaches. Face mask litter increased 9,000% in the first 7 months of the pandemic. The problem is not the masks themselves, it's the litter that they produce. The solution starts with you. Make sure to correctly dispose of your PPE and make sure it stays in the trash can.
Alright guys, we need to come up with film ideas.
What if we... Now I'm gonna edit this film.
Yeah, looks good.
Alright, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You guys are just creating an infinity loop.
Infinity loop. What could it mean? What can it mean? What can it mean? The two. Just infinite. Hey, I got an idea. What could it possibly be? What if you make a film of a group of filmmakers that are coming up with ideas?
You guys are just creating an infinity loop.
We need to come up with film ideas.
Hey, why does this guy not have a shirt on? You're a genius. Hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm gonna go shoot this film. What do you mean? The film's already been shot.
Why do I have no shirt on?
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Can I get the filmmakers to do the same as we just did with photography, but filmmakers turn on? Nico, why are you yawning? You're gonna make me yawn. You can't help it. We can't help it. Okay, so film people, cameras on. Let's see, give us a second. Okay, so welcome back and congratulations to the filmmaker winners of filmmaking. This group is small enough we can actually go through the genres. So I'll do that. We'll kind of start, I'll go by my list. I don't know if that was the order in which they were viewed, but let's start with the comedy winners. So is there anybody in their group here who's representing students that won in comedy?
Hey.
Hey, oh, Nico, you and me just talked, so you're all comfortable with me now.
That's so true.
I know. Anybody else? So there's one person repping the comedy crew. Oh, Alicia's group?
Yeah, we have they had Post in Space. Got third.
Okay, perfect. So we've got that was the animation that won comedy. And then Nico, I'm going to guess that you were the Infinity Loop. All right. Okay. So this is who our discussion will be with, but all of that doesn't mean everyone go anywhere. Let's talk comedy. What was the experience like for you to kind of come up with and create a comedy piece? Nico, yeah, you can go ahead and start. It looked like yours was intended to be like you set out to make a film in the comedy genre.
Yeah, so what happened is we had an assignment that we had to do, and it was originally experimental. And I understand experimental, I just didn't do experimental. And me and my friend, we both made a film, and then our teacher had us put those two films together.
Okay.
So originally it was supposed to be the people at the table come up with more ideas and you see the ideas play out, but it turned out to be just one person has an idea and that idea plays out, and then it goes like more meta into the metaverse.
That's a good description of it. And, you know, your film could have also been, I mean, a lot of the films that won and a lot of the films that were submitted could have been really in multiple categories, not any categories, but yours is a good example of that. And so is the Aspen Community Schools example, where it could have been an animation or humor, you know, things like that. So with the metaverse, how did you guys come up with that as a concept? And then how did you organize it in terms of filmmaking? Was it like a shot list, or how did you organize that? You know,
so originally we were writing on paper. I think we were writing a script, and then we kind of just talked it out and brainstormed, and we were like, what if someone was making a film and then it cuts to someone editing that film that they're making, and then it cuts to someone filming the people editing the film, and then it cuts to the people watching them edit them watching the film, meaning them the film. And it just kept going and going, and we originally had it go on for longer, but since we combined the two films, we couldn't really do much with that. And then I also had to come up with a different ending because the ending was bad. So I just came up with a different ending on my own. And in the beginning, we just came up with storyboard shot lists, a real simple script, and then we just went off that.
I love that. I love to know the process too. I think for all of us, right, that we're all kind of practicing or getting into filmmaking, and how different people kind of organize themselves in their films is always good to know. So thanks for sharing that. How about Alicia, your group over at Aspen? What was that like? Can you tell us a little bit about, like, what's your first impressions on having finished a stop motion animated piece? What was that like? Is that like something you loved and you can't wait to do it again, or did it take a lot longer than you thought?
It took a lot longer than we expected. Yeah, it was also our first time doing it with clay, so yeah.
Did you watch other claymation or animated films using clay, like while you were doing it, to kind of get some ideas from it, or did you just kind of go in?
Well, we watched some beforehand, and then we did ours.
They were very impressive just because claymation takes forever, and looked like you all spent a lot of time on the characters and the set and put a lot of intention into how they were going to look. So good job with that. Are you in an animation class?
No.
Well, just tell what kind of class we have.
We're just a normal art class.
Normal art? What's normal art?
So what kind of stuff do we do in art class?
I don't know. We do a lot of different things.
What do you think?
Yeah, like a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, exactly. What and has anything, and it doesn't have to be the animation, has anything in, because that's so lucky that you get to take a class where you kind of get to do a little bit of everything and explore and experiment. Is there anything that you've done over the course of this school year in that class that you really liked as an art practice that's kind of stands out to you as something you might want to do?
Yeah, well, we did a lot of pottery, and that was pretty cool. So
yeah, both of you liked pottery.
Yeah.
So let's move on, and then we can come back to you all to any of you. Oh, and I said Aspen, but Nico, what school do you go to? You shout out to your school?
ATC. Also, I forgot to mention, the film wasn't originally in that aspect ratio. It's kind of pushed in. It's supposed to be a lot farther back, but it's really cropped down. So kind of ruins it a little bit.
The way you saw it tonight was cropped down?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh no, I'm sorry about that. We'll have to check that out and see what happens.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, because we can always fix it too. If it's in different format, we can fix it for how it looks on the website. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, that's a good to know, especially if you're a filmmaker making something. You're like, I just want to point out. Yeah, I do that too. Okay, so we got comedy. Anybody? Animation. Alex and back to the Aspen Community School. So the other two on this side of the room, you did one in animation. And then Alex, are you at Aspen Community or are you with the Public Academy for Performing Arts?
I'm with the Public Academy for Performing Arts.
Okay, well, welcome. Tell us a little bit about your film. Let's go back into that elevator and we have like a couple floors to go up. What's your film? What was your film? Like kind of remind us and your audience what your film was.
I got second place and my film was about a little dog and he goes into the snow and he finds a big wolf and he thinks he's going to eat him. But then it turns out he just has a thorn in his paw.
So I'll have to say that film too, sometimes in the judging process, the judges might email us back and say, hey, can this film be considered in comedy? So your film is an example of that. Well, while it won in animation, it was also considered as comedy, by the judges. They thought it would have made a good comedy piece also. So what kind of animation platform? So I know the Aspen Community was doing the claymation and the stop motion. And what kind of animation did you use?
I just did 2D animation on like Adobe Animate.
Okay. So on that platform, do you draw it out like frame by frame or do you just, you do that?
Yeah, I draw it out frame by frame.
And what was that process like for you? Is it, and by that question, I'm going to pause and kind of explain. And that means what I'm asking is like, was that process something that you would want to do again? Or is that process something that you think, wow, animation takes a long time?
I think it takes a long time, but I do like doing it. So I would do it again. And I think it's really fun.
Does it make you watch animated films differently? Like if you go back and watch something by Pixar or something, do you kind of reconceptualize it to be like, whoa, that must have taken them a really long time?
Yeah, I do like thinking about that when I watch animated things and I try to learn from them too.
Great, that's a good thing. How about you all at Aspen Community School? Your film won also in animation and you also did stop motion with the clay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and tell us a short description so we can remember what your film was, what it looked like, or what the characters were.
It was the Froggy's Adventure. The frog that turned gangster.
And that process for you in terms of animating and using claymation. And I know you were like, you learned some stuff about music and the use of music and putting a story together. And like, is this something you would do again? Or what are your kind of thoughts, kind of having won something for it, but having this time to kind of reflect on it? What do you think about it?
I personally had a really good time and it was like fun getting to like design your own like characters and stuff like that. Yeah, it was kind of hard at first. We didn't really know what we were doing, but then we really got like the hang of it and then started going with it.
So in your class with the stop motion, do you all have like a box? Like how do you return to your studio? Do you have like a box that you bring out and there's your animation studio? Because you cannot have done all of that in one class period.
We had like this cardboard thing and like it was like that shape. And then we had like our like background and our setting, landscape. And then we just like, yeah.
Was that part so fun too? Kind of just setting up the whole scene and the landscape and like, that's all pre-production, right? I think in animation too. Did you like that part? Did either of you like that part better than the actual animating it part?
Yeah. It's a lot easier.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job, and you did a really good job designing and making your little figures and things like that. It was really beautiful and cute and inspiring and fun to watch. So good job.
Yeah. And then we have one other student here, Nevaeh, is also in our art class, and she won third in animation. So
Nevaeh tried to get away because you're not in the same square with them, but you got called out by your teacher. So welcome, Nevaeh. Nice try. We found you.
Hi.
Tell us about your animation. What do you think about it, leaving it? Is this something you're like, might want to do this again, or what was your process like?
It was fun, but it took a lot of time. And it was hard. Well, for me, because I didn't know what to do at first. And yeah.
Well, you did really well, and you won. You won an award for it. So what's the lesson we can learn in this? Gee, I don't know, but sometimes things do take a long time, especially in the world we live in now, right? Everything is real fast and real quick, and you all can make TikToks in probably 5 seconds flat. So to kind of, step back and do something like this is challenging, I'm sure, but you did really well at it. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. That goes for the comedy also, and animation. Let me tell you, comedy is probably, I've never made a comedy before, but I imagine that they're very hard, probably a little bit harder than you think, to make people laugh is, I don't want to say it's hard, like you're working in the salt mines, but it's a challenge. So, you did a really good job at doing that and using your intellectual capacity also to think about what could be funny and how you could film it and things. So congratulations to all of you. Let's move to documentary. Who's our doc? Where's our docs? Anaya and Clarence. Anyone else win in doc? And Carlton. Anaya, Clarence, and Carlton. And if I missed you.
Not me. I misheard.
Oh, you did? Who misheard? Clarence?
Yeah, I was an experimental.
Oh, you're okay, cool. So Carlton and Anaya, welcome and congratulations. I'm going to start with Anaya because Anaya raised their hand first. So Anaya, what was your film and documentary, and what place did you win?
So I won first place for my film Mask Litter.
Well, excuse me, congratulations. First place is something that you should write down and never forget. And what was on Mask
It said
Litter?
my sister's name, but it's my name.
Oh, wait, what? Say that again.
So on the slide it said Santana Gonzalez, but that's my older sister who helped me with the film. But the film is mine.
Dang it. Okay. You're with Papa?
Yes, I am with the.
Can you or Ms. Hudson send me an email about that, and we'll make sure to change it on our end for the website too, to add you first and then your sister who helped you. Thank you, sister, as second.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, that sounds really good. So I know Papa does a lot of documentaries. I think it's a great form for filmmaking, and it's a great form to learn. What made you choose that topic on mask litter? Was it something that you've noticed over the last however many years, what kind of inspired you to choose that story of the millions of stories in the world to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So walking around my community, I kept seeing the mask litter all over the ground. And I thought to myself that maybe if I could make a film about it, I could raise awareness about this issue and learn how other people are trying to solve this, and maybe make people think more about where they're putting their masks so they don't lose them.
Great. Well, thank you for that contribution, because it's a good one and it's important. I've thought the same thing. And Carlton, welcome to you. Congratulations on your win also. What were you in? You were also from Papa? And
Yes, I'm also from Papa, and I got third place for my film.
Congratulations. It looked like a fun film to make, and important to kind of highlight the dogs and all of the great things that they do for search and rescue and archaeology and all of their good things that they do. So thanks for bringing that story to our attention.
No problem.
Is that your dog?
It's my dad's work dog, and he's retiring soon, so that might as well do it now.
Might as well do it now, exactly. Cool. And what's the dog's name?
Gailey, Geli.
And do you or your dad know at the top of your head how many has Gailey been pretty successful in the work that Gailey has done in search and rescue and or whatever else Gailey does?
So she's a cadaver dog. I know she hasn't really gotten to do it yet, so we don't really know.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for bringing your film and thanks for submitting it. Congratulations to you and to Papa for all of the great work that you've been doing over there. And so we'll end with experimental and narrative. Is there any experimental? Clarence, I think you said you're experimental. Anybody else from experimental?
I did an experimental. I was third place for experimental.
Perfect, Luz. And then Clarence, what were you at, Clarence? I guess like, oh, you got first place, drafted.
Yes.
Yeah, those were I'm looking, I have to look at my notes to make sure that I'm reading the titles of your films right. So excuse me. Those were both really well done. Experimental is, I think, a really fun genre, as it gives you a lot of creativity, a lot of ways to experiment and things like that. Yours could have been, Clarence, also a bit of a narrative as well, but you kind of took an experimental kind of edge to it. So I always really appreciate that. Is there any other experimental pieces? Luz or Clarence, do either of you want to share something about your film or about the experimental process? You don't have to, it's just an opportunity for you to.
I'll share something.
Sure.
It was really, really fun to make it
Mhm.
because I didn't feel like any of the mistakes I made were going to be like major issues in the long run, because they kind of, with experimental, it was easier to like just go with the flow of things. And I ended up making something really cool. So I was really happy about that.
That's what I love about experimental too, honestly, Luz, is you can kind of set out with some ideas, but you know, if things go wrong, you could just make it intentional. And you get a lot of freedom to play with lighting and camera angles and things like that. So good job on that. How about you, Clarence? What did you think? How did you enjoy the experimental process?
Well, something I found that came really in handy was organizing the way I organized my shot list. I'd written down every single shot I had on a piece of paper, printed it, and then next to it, I put down a number for whether or not I could shoot one shot in, so I didn't have to move the camera back to a place repeatedly. So if there was a bunch of things marked 1, I could act for one scene, then act again, and then I could just cut it in post and put it over together. And that was really useful because I had very little battery life left on my camera because I forgot to charge it. So that allowed me to actually complete the film on time.
I love that. That's a lesson for all of us too on organizing. And also the dead battery is like said every filmmaker ever. I don't know how many of you have had that already, where you show up somewhere and you're like, okay, my battery, what happened? Why didn't it charge? Or why did I forget it? So I would like to say you just learn, you'll never do that again, but you probably will. So good job moving forward and moving through the battery life. How about narrative? Anybody from narrative? The rest of you must be narrative. I know Messiah is narrative, or Alexandra. Anybody else? All right, we'll start with Messiah. Where were you? I'm looking for you. You're first place. And you did media head?
Yeah, I helped Terry with it. I was his cinematographer. I provided the different camera angles and aspects of the film.
Terry, is this Terry right here? Terry Fisher with the broken skateboards?
Yeah.
Sweet. It is a cool film, Terry. Did you think of that? Like you thought of that conceptually, or that was a kind of an idea you had?
Just that one more time, please.
Oh, sorry. I asked if that idea for Media Head was something that you came up with. If you came up with it, like, did you write it yourself and came up with that idea and concept and then put a crew together? Is my internet not working?
More like a loose concept because I have this process where I just create ideas. It involves staying up until 4 in the morning and not sleeping, and then just sitting down on the notebook, and that's about it.
Well, it worked very well, and it was very funny, and very creative.
Anyone there?
Can you all hear me okay? Okay, I couldn't tell. Okay, so who else from narrative? Alexandra, was that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was paused. I couldn't tell. Terry, we can hear you, but there was kind of a lag, so I couldn't tell if that was me or you all. So that's why I was kind of slow to my response. But what was your film, Alexandra? Tell us about it.
So my film is a documentary on attire. And it's funny because Miss Hudson has been telling
Oh no, did Alexandra freeze or am I frozen? What is this world? What is this metaverse we're in, Nico?
decide to keep him. So I took him I took him home with me, and I interviewed my principal and then two of these really Am I frozen? Can you guys hear me?
You're not anymore. We can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, my internet isn't great. But yeah, it was sort of like a last minute thing and it really worked out well. And I loved like filming everything because I've never done it before.
Well, I'm glad that you did, and I hope that you stay at Papa and can continue to take the media classes. It was very creative. It was like your use of interviewing people and kind of like leading the story along. At one point, you're like, okay, I bet this isn't a person, but I definitely was not expecting a tire. So it was very funny and very creative. So you did it. You all did an excellent job, which is why you're here. But congratulations! It was really fun to watch.
Thank you.
Krista Salazar was in documentary 2. What? Hello, look at you with the black light posters. What was your documentary, Krista?
The Ladybug one.
Oh, that was good. Did you learn a lot from that one? I feel like I did. And you're with the Academy for Technology and the Classics.
Yes.
Was that an assignment for you all to make a documentary film?
Yes. I think I recall the assignment being you had to submit a film, and mine like evolved several times. I wasn't really sure what to do, but really good advice my instructor gave me, Mr. Hatcher, was what you have around you. And I sort of turned like film into like something else I like, which is like plants and stuff. So I decided to use what I had around me, which was ladybugs.
I love that. And I think that's probably a great advice that we can all use from Mr. Hatcher, is that sometimes the best idea is to kind of use what's around us, right? It makes it, I don't want to say easier, but when we have access to things, that's kind of where the story can be at sometimes. So thank you for that. Thanks for that, Krista.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the end, unless, is there anybody else like Krista that's like, hey, I'm here too, that didn't want to be here before or didn't want to say anything and now you do? We have a teacher here in our last minute, Michael Hatcher. Am I correct in that oh, never mind. I guess I won't tell your business to the world, but you're teaching at the Academy for the Classics right now. So a public academy, or how do you guys say it? Academy for the Classics.
Yeah, we go by ATC, Academy of Technology and the Classics.
Okay, I always forget the one. I would know there's always one. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate the teachers being here also. Definitely. When we get back together in the theater next year at the Lensic, we'll have less time actually for you all to talk about your process and more time to kind of acknowledge the teachers and things. because at the Lensic, it'll move through and we'll just kind of give you awards, and you move through and say a couple words on the mic for a second. So is there any seniors here that we would not see next year? Oh, good. That makes me happy. So, so hopefully I will see you all next year when we do this show again. And I encourage you, even if you're not taking your art class because you already did that credit, you're still welcome to submit as being part of your school. So you can always go back to your teacher if you're not taking that class or if you're unable to, okay, and submit your work to us because we'd love to have you. We went a few minutes over, so I hope that's okay for everybody watching online. And we appreciate everybody, you know, and your family and your friends and things who are watching. There's going to be links available for you to share with people that weren't able to make it. Okay, so make sure to do that if you want to. And before I kind of sign off and give it back to Joel, I just want to say that it's always an honor for me to be able to meet you all and to work with you and to kind of watch your work as you move forward, and to meet teachers like Mr. Hatcher and Alicia and the rest of you. And so that's kind of all I have. I appreciate you with the courage of unmuting yourself and speaking too. Good job. Keep making your work. I hope I get to see you again and again and again. And that's all. So congratulations, everybody. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. And I would like to have everyone give our little virtual round of applause for Marcella for her excellent work throughout the year and all of the great hosting tonight as well. You're a real gift to this project, Marcella, and to everything. And we just really appreciate you and thank you for all the work that you've done this year. And also to the teachers, you know, some who are with us this evening, but those who are not too. The world gets moved by great teachers and the work that they're doing, particularly in these very strange years. So kids, you're super lucky to have these good advisors helping these things come together for you. And thank you all. And again, to the students as well, most importantly, for taking the time and using your creativity to create such terrific work that you were sharing with us this evening. This is the end of our program. As we've been saying all along, if you go to lensic.org, you will find a link that will show you all of the submissions. Tonight, we just were able to view all of the winners in both the film and photography categories. But if you go to lensic.org, you'll find that link that will show all of the finalists in all of the different categories, both in film and photography. And you'll be able to share that with friends and family as well. And if you like this program, if you like the things that are going on with arts education in the community, the things that Lensic is prioritizing and in how we give back to our community, please take an opportunity to visit lensic.org as well and make a contribution that can help some of these programs continue, both for the people power and materials and things that go into making this project happen. And we'd appreciate that. And hopefully we will all be back here next year so that we can enjoy this community of art making and also be able to share it with people online at the same time as well. So thank you again for everything tonight. We appreciate you and take care. Have a great summer. Look forward to seeing you again next year.